This is my world history project on World War I and World War II weaponry. For today, I have chosen the Browning Auto-5 shotgun, what is considered the best shotgun ever made. John Browning knew what he was doing when he came up with the design for this gun. He pushed for good quality in return for durability, reliability, and overall performance on and off the field of battle. For this shotgun is able to be fired over 100,000 times without ever malfunctioning. And what better way to talk about this gun than to actually have it here in my hands, demonstrating what everything does on this shotgun. This shotgun features a revolutionary design. John Browning perfected this, the humpback design. When he came up with this design, he had the intention of not only the receiver to slide back, but the barrel too. When John Browning first took his designs to Winchester, they didn't think it would work. They rejected his agreement. Then he took it to Remington, who they had an agreement with. They created the Model 11, and due to all of the safety features on that gun failing, he took his designs elsewhere, their agreement fell out, and he formed his own trademark in 1902. Then he took his designs and he executed them flawlessly to create the FN Browning Auto-5 Belgium. This shotgun is the overall greatest shotgun ever made. It still features designs that are used in not only the new A5s, but also the 50 caliber BMG, who took the design of the entire barrel sliding back. But however, let's get into war times with this gun. It wasn't the Auto-5 necessarily being used, but rather the Winchester 1911 or the Widowmaker, we'll get into why it's called that here in a minute, and the Remington Model 11. This was the alternative to the Model 1897. However, the Auto-5s were still being produced. As I said before, this is a pre-World War II. We figured that out because we were bored one day and we looked at the serial numbers. So, the overall components of the shotgun include the receiver, action, barrel, magazine tube, forearm, safety, which we'll get into why the safety is down here in a minute, trigger, and of course, the stock. On the newer A5s, you can get composite stocks, camouflage, what have you. A lot of you might be wondering why the Auto-5 is the alternative to the Model 1897 trench sweeper, which was pretty much a semi-automatic shotgun. All you had to do, just keep sliding the action back and forth. Well, for starters, the Auto-5 is the first semi-automatic shotgun, successful semi-automatic shotgun in the world, and of course it was produced by Browning. However, what makes this gun different than the trench sweeper is that the trench sweeper was a pump action, meaning you actually have to manually eject and rechamber each shell you want to fire. As the Auto-5, it did all the work for you. Hold on, we're going to close the action real quick to show you how to load this thing. So first off, pull the action back, drop your shell in, press this little button right here. This closes the action. However, and also, what's different on this gun, as opposed to every other semi-automatic shotgun on the face of the planet, you got to hold the action close button to load additional rounds. Anyways, let's get back to the differences. Whenever you close this gun and you load additional shells, the shotgun would do all the work for you. For it uses a recoil operating system, meaning every gun that fires will pull the barrel back and action back, ejecting a shell, then closing the action again, pushing the barrel back forward, and loading the additional shell, meaning no work is required for the user. However, make sure your safety is off. What John Browning also intended on these guns was for soldiers to have easier way to flick this gun off safety. So he created what they call the suicide safety, meaning that the safety is right in front of the trigger here, and all you have to do, flick that forward, gun's off safety. One more thing I also wanted to talk about was the Model 11. this gun's brother. Almost identical, pretty much identical on the outside. Then you get to the mechanical stuff on the inside, it's not really the same. That gun was produced from 1911 to 1948. Whenever that gun disappeared, the Auto-5 took over again up until 1975, when production of the Auto-5 in Belgium would cease and move to Japan. Japan came up with the idea, instead of having a fixed choke barrel, which is what these Belgians had, they came up with an idea of interchangeable chokes, meaning that you no longer had to buy separate barrels for your gun if you wanted to change the pellet pattern. And all you had to do was buy these new little choke tubes, screw them into the top of your barrel, and voila, you had a whole new barrel for a gun. So the Belgians, as I said before, they were fixed chokes, meaning that this gun will only throw one type of pattern and one type of pattern only. This is fixed full, meaning that it throws a pretty tight pattern. The next in line would be improved modified, meaning it'd throw a little bit of a wider pattern, but not really. Next up would be modified. That is what the hunters intended to use, because you could hit more smaller objects flying at a faster rate, such as waterfowl, dove, pheasants, what have you. Regardless of this gun's classic nature, it is still one of the most sought-after guns today. Even though they reintroduced this shotgun after production ceased in 1998 in Japan of this classic design, this shotgun was reintroduced in 2012, featuring all new modern mechanics, while still featuring the classic humpback design that all the hunters love. Okay, still going?
Yep.
All in all, we can conclude that John Browning revolutionized not only the shotgun industry, but also the gun industry as a whole with his impeccable designs on this gun that still revolutionize almost every gun in production to this day, including, like I said, the remastered Auto-5, which took components from the Belgiums and the Japan models, combined them in one, and still produced good quality shotguns that are super durable, super reliable, and really do perform well in hunting situations, as these shotguns did in war scenarios back in 1940s.